I arrived in Austria on October 31st, 1991. We moved in with my girlfriend's parents in a small town with 20,000 residents in Styria called Kapfenberg. We lived there for 6 months. It was a big change for me because I was used to living in bigger cities my whole life. But over those 6 months, I enjoyed it so much there that I started preferring small towns over larger cities. Unfortunately, like many people who grow up in a small town, my girlfriend wanted to live in a big city, and we moved to the second largest city in Austria, Graz. We stayed there for almost 6 years. Then we lived in a small town called Fohnsdorf for 1 year. And then we decided to go to Albany, New York for 1 year. What was funny was the entire time in Albany, I was just looking forward to getting back to Austria because that's where my friends and my belongings and my life was. In 2000, we moved to the largest city in Austria, Vienna. I tried to convince my ex-wife that we move back to the town her parents live in, but there was no chance of me winning that battle. What I really enjoyed while living in Austria was how easy it was to hop on the train or bus and be in Czech Republic or Slovakia or Italy and many other countries anywhere from 30 minutes to 4 hours. That may be the thing I'll miss the most if I never go back. In 2002, we both realized we were going in different directions and we had a peaceful divorce. I immediately started planning on moving to a smaller Austrian town, but I was also interested in going self-employed, and I chose self-employment and figured in the future I can always move. So I became a reseller and sold things on eBay for 3 years until 2005. In 2005, I was offered a job through an acquaintance where I could also work from home, and as much as I liked reselling, working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 364 days a year gets exhausting. The only days I took off those 3 years was every Christmas. So I accepted the job offer, and 2 years later, I received an offer for a better job where I could also work from home. So I changed jobs once again. During the 5 years after my divorce, I never felt comfortable moving because I never felt like I would have much security working online from home in a small town, and I also wasn't sure where I wanted to move to. There were many possibilities. Hundreds of small towns in Austria, but also small villages and countries nearby, like Serbia and Slovakia and Italy. So I started exploring and doing research on small towns in several different countries, and in 2012 I had decided I would move to Alaska one day because it had the most of what I wanted. A lot of snow and a lot of wildlife and a lot of remote areas close enough to medium-sized towns that you could reach when you want to be around people. I like having this option where if I wanted to be alone I could, and if I wanted to be around people I could as well. But mainly I wanted a place where I saw nature instead of billboards and shopping malls. I wanted something more natural. Over the next 5 years, I did a lot of research on a lot of small towns in Alaska and decided when I get there I will visit them and then decide which one I liked the best. But I wasn't ready to leave Austria yet, so in 2017 I finally left Vienna and moved to a smaller town with 16,000 people in the countryside called Spital, where I stayed for the next 6 years. Spital was probably my favorite town in Austria that I ever lived in. I saw the mountains from my windows and balcony, and I had the forest I could ride my bike through along the river. It was a small town in the countryside where after 8 p.m. you seldom saw another person or heard any cars driving by. It was exactly the type of place I wanted to live in for the past 20 years. I could see myself staying there for the rest of my life, except for the fact that I knew I wanted to go to Alaska one day. But when would be the right time to leave a country that had become my home over the past 30 years and head to Alaska? The only answer I had was I would know when I'm ready, when I wake up one morning and realize now is the time for me to go. And that morning arrived in February 2023.